Hey, I'm back. So we are in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And yes, I am filming at night, so I've got a light on and makes everything a little iffy. I understand that, but we'll do the best we can. Now, we had mentioned in the last video, for you that skipped it because I was talking about the color wheel, we actually did some coloring. Oops. So the flowers are done. But we were trying to discuss, how do you know where to put which color? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, and there's my lightest. There's the next shade that goes into it. And then here's the darkest. Now follow with me. And yes, I'm going to tell you what colors in a minute. Just follow with me here for a minute. Indulge me. And then blend it. All right, so then we're going to take another piece of scratch paper. And I'm going to do my blues and teals, same way. There. There. And here. Woo! That's right, I'm going to have to really work on blending. But for now, that gets us started. Alright, so that's the colors. Yeah, I know, I got right there. Where's my eraser? Because otherwise I will forget. Good enough. Alright, so now what I can do is say, how will that look next to those flowers? Will the flowers still pop? How will that color look next to him? That will really pop. How will this look next to him? You know, I think this really looks better. Now down here, do the flowers look better on that? Yes, they do. But it works on this. So what I'm going to do then is that tells me that this set of colors goes for this middle. This goes for the bottom and for the top. Now my other option is I can use this set of colors for the top and middle and this set for the bottom. Why not? Let me show you how that works. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right up here with this one. I guess I should have zoomed in some before I sat down. Okay. How's that? That's going to almost get you in for the whole thing. If I skip any out, I'm sorry. Bear with me. So I'm going to start with these colors. My lightest is orange. My medium is red-orange. And these are all Crayola, but this is Colors of the World, this pencil is, and it's deep rose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these two on the top, and then these two with maybe a little bit of this in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lightest color. I guess I need to be doing my ovals on this. And I'm going to do this section that is the lightest, right here through this midsection. Okay? So this is that orange. Crayola, just straight orange colored pencil. That's it. Ooh, I might also could put that strip through there in that color. That might not look as good though, although it would give a pop. I'm not sure how wild I want to get this page. No, I think I'm going to stick with doing it solid. It's what I'm doing now. Sometimes very much agree that I overthink a page. And that's when it quits becoming as fun for me. So I've not decided what book to start next. If somebody has a book they want me to color some of it online and you want to send me that book, let me know. And I will commit to doing a percentage of that book in videos for you. Otherwise, I may just grab just another book I have, but I don't know if it'll be current or not. I've got to look and see what I've got and what I'm in the mood for. Okay, so there's that. So then I'm going to the red orange, and I'm going to come across the top here first. Is my hand out of the way? See, the thing is, if you'll put the tip of the pencil on the edge, you'll get a crisp edge. If I go at it this way, my edge will not be as crisp because it's not the tip that's touching, it's some of this back side that's touching too. So if you ever have problems getting crisp edge, that's part of it. You need to put the pencil tip facing that edge. Okay? And then I'm getting lighter as I come down into that orange. And you can see he's really popping on this, our caterpillar dude. And this is going to be a wild mushroom. What do they say about weed and mushrooms? There's something. I don't know. It's not something I ever experimented with. But, you know, he does look a little high, right? I know it's a kid's book. Stop, stop. But seriously. Okay. And I am working at getting a lot of the white tooth out of the paper on this pass through. So if I work on this any more later, I don't have just a whole lot that I have to do. And if you can't see real well what I'm doing this time, the pencil's going to be pointed down there when I come back up, so you'll see it on the other side. But I'm really trying to keep my hand out of the picture. So now I'm going to come over here and get this. And come all the way almost to the tip. You see that little bitty tip I left there? Hopefully I'm still on camera. I'm going to come in with Deep Rose. And this is Colors of the World pencils. See how it makes it look like it's tucked back in there? I'm going to also add some of that here. See how it makes it look like it's recessed back in there? we're recessing that back in there just like we did here when we did that purple. We're just defining it and pushing that back. And I can take this and go all the way across, but I'm going to do it very, very lightly. In fact, I'm going to run it out right there because the light's actually hitting more here than it is over here, so that's why I wanted this area darker. I'm really wanting to try to explain myself a little bit more to some of y'all because I know I've got new viewers. You've been asking questions and I've heard you, so I'm trying to do it where I'm answering a bit more. Okay, so what I did on this side, I'm repeating here, coming around here, and then coloring up into that orange. Now, this little piece here is kind of like a pie crust. You know how it ripples and dips? And I'm changing to my orange. I'm just going to do a little bit of blending. But you know how a pie crust ripples and dips, and then right up at the edge it's darker? So I'm going to come in with this deep rose again and go right along this. See how this looks different than this? Okay, so let me show you here. I come around and do this right here. And it just gives the illusion now that this is kind of puffed up around. And I would do that all the way across. Okay, so just keep doing that. Then, let me see how it looks up there and how we are time-wise. 12 minutes. Okay. I don't want to rush through these, but I want to try to get just this section done, and then we'll save that. Ooh, I might have over sharpened that. We will save the teal section for next time, or we may only get part way through this and just have a part 1 and part 2. So, because I don't want you to miss what I'm doing. So now I'm going to take the lighter shade, which is the orange, and I'm going to come here. And now this is directional. Notice I've changed to straight lines, well, curved lines, instead of the circles. Just in the whitest of areas. And see, that starts getting dark then. This is one of those things that is not difficult, the mushroom itself and blending the colors. But if you've not done it before, it might be a bit daunting of, wait a minute, there's all these lines. And did you notice I turned my pencil? I did this for a while, then I flipped, and it's so that I can use up some of the pencil that's on the other side. But yeah, it's just like there's all these lines, and how do I color around? What do I make where? How close do I get to the other colors? And it's just these things that pop in your brain, and you're like, I don't know. And then you just put the book down. And I don't want you to feel that way. So that's another reason I'm doing this video. And see, this would be lighter up here on the top, even though there's something on top of it, because the light is reflecting off the top and your shadow is more down at the bottom. There's a little bit up here, but not as much. So we're going to do that. So that's our lightest shade cutting through there, right? Then I'm going to take the red orange and I'm going to do the next area. So I'm going to come through. Now, see, I didn't go all the way to the edge here. I'm going to leave space for my next color to come in. And I actually could, I wonder how that would look. If I went ahead and did these colors on this whole mushroom and then the teals on the other mushroom. See, I told you I was not going to decide the other mushroom until I got done with this one. But I like how this one's going so much that now I'm thinking I'm just going to save the teals for the other mushroom. What do you think? I think I'm going to do it, y'all. Yep. I'm going to do it. Those teals that we picked out in the video that talked about the color wheel, I'm going to use those on the other mushroom. Yep, I am. So here I'm just blending, coming back and around, blending that. Then I'll come in with the orange and blend it some more. And see how it really brightens it up now that I'm taking the original color and going over it again. So this is where you hear so many people say that they've got so many layers of pencil going on. It's because we go over it and over it. And that's how you're going to get your depth. That's how you're going to get better blending. And just a picture that's got more pop and pizzazz and wow to it. So don't be afraid to just be going over this over and over. I'm going to do it. The other mushroom will be teal. Yeah. And that's another thing. It's your book. Nothing says you can't change your minute. You can't change your mind at the last minute. Why not? You can do what you want. There are no coloring police. I haven't said that in a long time. There are no coloring police. You're the artist, the colorist. You get to decide what you're going to do where. And do it. Oh, y'all, I've talked enough about my granddaughter. We have one. Her name is Evie. And she will be 2 the day after Christmas. So she's our little miracle baby because we weren't supposed to be able to have, they weren't supposed to be able to have any. And so anyway, there's a big old story behind all that. But so Evie's here and we are having so much fun with her. Well, like I said, she's not even 2 yet, and they are teaching her her letters, and she's knowing them. So by sight, if you take all the capitals and just throw them out on the floor or in a book, chicka chicka boom boom, you can tell her, find Mommy's letter. What is Mommy's letter? Mommy's name is Laura, but you call her Mommy. Where is Mommy's L? And she will find the L. She finds the A for her daddy. She finds the M for Mimi, the G for Granddaddy and Grandma and Grandpa. She finds the E for Evie, and she finds the V for another part of Evie. So we've been having fun with a not even 2-year-old picking all of her letters out. They were over on Saturday evening. And I told her mama, I said, you realize that we're not being biased. She really is a smart little thing. And she goes, yeah, I know. So we have a little potty chair just because I'm grandma. Okay, I changed over to orange during my storytelling. So being grandma, I had a $10 off at IKEA for my birthday this last year in April. So I went, and there was nothing I really wanted, y'all. They don't have coloring supplies. Let's face it, you know? And so I found a little potty chair that was $12, and I thought, oh, I can pay $2. That's cheaper than the one that I had found at another store for $6, you know, in the long run. So I get the potty chair, bring it home. She sees it in the corner of the bathroom. She starts picking it up, bringing it over, and sitting on it with her clothes on. I'm like, okay, that gets her used to it. So the other day she goes in and she's really gassy, and I'm like, do you need to sit on the potty? And she goes, uh-huh. I said, we're going to take your clothes off. And she looked at me, and then she pointed at the big potty. And I said, yes, Grandma will go too. And she's like, okay. So we both sit on the potty, and she's got her clothes off, and she sits there for a bit, and I'm like, are you going to make some stinky poo? And she's like, shooey, shooey. I just laugh. And she sits there for quite a few minutes. And then, whoops, sorry, I was shaking the whole table. And then I'm like, are you all done? And she goes, all done. I said, there's nothing there. And she goes, no, no, no. I'm like, okay. I said, you know, in 5 minutes, you're going to poop in that diaper. No sooner than I get her diaper on than she pooped in it. It was just like, Evie, you're so close to knowing what you're doing. So we plop the poop in the potty. And if this is TMI, sorry. But sit her back on the potty then, on her little chair, and let her sit for a while. And she gasses a little bit, but that's it. But it was just so funny that not even 2, and she's understanding these things. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you are going to be a little toot, a little whippersnapper. She soaks up every little morsel of information. If you're doing something that she knows she's not supposed to do, she'll look at you. Oh, yeah, sorry. I went to Deep Rose. This is the Colors of the World pencil set, but it's still Crayola. So, yeah, if you're doing something and she knows she's not supposed to, she'll look at you and shake her finger no, and she'll go, no, no, no. And I'm like, that's right, Evie doesn't do this. Because she knows if things aren't hers, she doesn't touch. So, anyway, just my little stories while I'm sitting here. Now, if you could converse with me while I was doing this, that would be cool. Now, see how I'm just getting these deep recessed areas darker. Makes it look like it's back around there, okay? How are we time-wise? Ooh, fun. All right, so time for one more story. Yeah, I'm crocheting her a blanket for the crib. Now, she'll be going into a big bed soon, I'm sure, just because she's doing everything else early. So her mama said purple would be a good color. It'll go with what's in her room. And Evie tends to pick purple clothes. She also likes pinks and reds. Oh yeah, she knows her colors too, and her shapes. She loves ovals and stars the best, and can say both. Anyway, I digress. So I started making her a purple little Afghan. I'm crocheting it, and I think she understands that it's for her. The first time she saw it, she came over and looked at me and looked at it, and I said, you can touch. And so she touched it and felt it, and she's like, ooh. And I said, is it soft and pretty? And she's like, P. I said, yes, it is pretty. because I'm doing variegated. So I've got 3 different purples, and I'm going through purple by purple. And so I'm on the darkest one finally. Well, I think it's going to end up being like the size of the top of a twin size bed. I might have gotten too much yarn. But anyway, so she takes my hand to go into the playroom with her. And I said, well, Grandma wants to crochet. And so she points, because right now there's a recliner in the playroom too that we're trying to sell. And so she points to the recliner. I said, you want me to stay in here? I said, let me go get my crochet and I'll bring it in here. And so I bring it in and pull it out, and she looks at it and she smiles real big because there's another purple added since she had seen it last. So she smiles and I'm crocheting. And I said, is Grandma sewing? Because her mama will cut her sleeves or pants legs off to go from one season to the next with her clothes. And so she's like, uh-huh. I said, this is actually called crochet. She looked at me and I said, crochet. Can Evie say crochet? Well, Evie, every now and then she'll put 2 words together. That's, age appropriate for where she's at, I think. And so she looks up and she says, crow. I said, shay? She goes, shay. I said, now you have to say all of it. Crochet. And she goes, crow, shay. And I said, that's right. So when her parents came in to pick her up, I said, she's learning things. And they go, oh, what this time? So she told them crow, shay. And they just laughed. I said, she's a smart little booger. Sometimes I'll call her Toodles. And are you my Toodles? She'll look at me and she'll smile. Uh-huh. So anyway, I thank God for her. She just, she's been a blessing as we've gone through COVID, especially as we've lost so many loved ones, to just be able to have her as a sort of a little lifeline. God's really blessed us there. And we're really blessed that our kids live so close. I get to go running around with my daughter a lot. Just, I say running around. We may go to grocery shopping or something. But just to be able to see her and hang out. Hubby's birthday is tomorrow, which will be the 4th. So it'll already be over by the time you're seeing this. But the kids are all coming over tomorrow night and they're bringing dinner. So really have many things to be thankful for. All right, I have a feeling we're almost out of time. But you see how I've done this. And I'm still going to do the bottom also. So I think what I'm going to do is this is going to be part 1. And then we're going to have a part 2 to do the bottom. Because I don't want to lose anybody that is coloring along. I want you to be able to follow along, keep up, and see the whole process of this. Okay, how are we time-wise? I really like the way that's looking, though. I don't know if you can see it as well as me, but I am almost out of time. So I am going to finish this just like this, and then we'll come back and do this together. I may actually go ahead and do the orange part on part of this, and then that way you're not watching me just color. You can see what I did when we come back. You can pause and do it, and then we'll go from there. And we will eventually do a flip through when I am completely finished with the book. All right? So I will see you back in a few more days. All right. Bye.